How many MMR points can you lose in one game? Where is Artosis going? And what does the fox say? All of these questions will be answered in today's episode of StarCraft Today.
StarCraft Today.
Your favorite StarCraft news show. Starting off with some sad news, Serral recently announced that he will not be participating in Dreamhack Valencia, citing personal reasons. He does mention that he will be participating in every other EPT point tournament this year, starting with the Home Story Cup. Here at the Harstem channel, we hope that he's doing alright and we're looking forward to seeing him compete once again in the future. More news as Artosis tweeted that after 14 years of living and working in Korea, he will be moving to Canada and leaving Korea behind. GSL Coda Season 3 will be his final tournament that he will cast, and him and Tasteless requested to Africa TV if GSL in the future can be done through online cast so that the casting Archon can remain together forever. We wish Artosis lots of luck in his future endeavors in Canada. He stated that he believes that moving there will be better for his personal life as well as his career. Moving on to some actual StarCraft 2 action as GSL kicked off their round of 10 with Group A last Monday. Some real fire is on. The first match of the day we saw Hero throw away a sure win in game number 2 versus Maru, which should have given him the 2-0 victory as he had already won game 1. Instead of that, Maru made a miraculous comeback and also took game 3, winning the first match versus Hero in Group A and positioning himself for a number 1 spot in this group. In the second match we saw DRG outplay Zaun, but sadly for DRG he was not as prepared for the counterattack as he would have liked. Zaun managed to destroy the army that DRG managed to get together and got his first win in the group on the board. The third match of the day was complete destruction as Maru simply walked all over Su, who had nothing to say in this one-sided Terran vs Zerg affair, giving Maru the second win of the day and of the group. In the second game of the fourth match, with Hero already being up 1-0, we saw Zaun with a superior early game, but not being quite as prepared as he ideally would have liked to against Hero's powerful Stalker Zealot attack. Hero took map number 2, took the series and his first win in Group A. The final match of the day had Su go up against DRG, and with both players already being 0-1 in the group stage, this match probably has a big influence on the chances of getting out of this group. Both games started and ended the same way, starting with some Ling Bane action in the early game in which DRG got ahead, and ending with a big Roche push in game 1 aided by a couple of Lings, and in game 2 just pure Roaches. This means that after day 1 in Group A, we have Maru in first place, Hero and DRG sharing a second place, Zaun in fourth, and Su coming in last without having won a single map yet. Group B was played the day after, starting with last season's GSL Coda's runner-up Creator against the man who loves proxy hatches more than anything, Ragnarok. In game 1, Creator was completely dominant, in control from start to finish, except perhaps for one moment where he lost his forward base, but as he already had a 5th done and a 6th on the way, it didn't matter much. He eventually pushed across the map 2-3 minutes later and won game number 1. Game 2, Ragnarok changed up the speed a little bit, went for a quick Ling flood from a pool first, with a drone pool added on top of it as well, and blasted Creator off the face of the earth, who just simply could not defend. 1-1. In the final game, we saw Ragnarok go for a Queen Roach Ling push on the third base of Creator. Creator did not have enough units and had to give up the third. His eco was so bad that when he finally retook it, Ragnarok could just push again, this time with Banes, Ravagers and even 4 Queens in the natural, whatever that is, but yeah. GG, 2-1 in favor of Ragnarok, and Ragnarok continuing his streak of unlikely wins in the GSL. The second series of the day between Dark and Bunny was slightly disappointing as Dark won game 1 with a quick Nidus play, and game 2 opened up with a Ravager push followed by a random number of Lings, which also just won the game. Some typical Dark games, which he doesn't seem to be doing anything special, but he wins. And that's the only thing that matters. 2-0 and 1-0 in the group for Dark. Third series between Cure and Ragnarok was a bit more of a banger as we opened up with 2 exciting macro games in which the score ended up being 1-1. In game number 3 we got a 36-minute game in which Ragnarok showed that he can do more than just proxy hatch and Ling flood. He completely destroyed Cure in the final late game fight with a very technical Broodlord Infestor Viper composition, and thus won his second match of the day and actually becomes a real contender for first place in this group. The games between Bunny and Creator, gameplay-wise perhaps were not as memorable as Ragnarok vs Cure, but we saw Creator smash his desk with so much force that his camera was still bouncing until 15 seconds after he did it in game number 1. This was game number 1, the series wasn't even over, mind you. And after game number 2, after he lost that against Bunny, he took off his headset, tried to destroy it by throwing at his table with very high velocity. A very interesting move and a bit odd to see someone that performed so well last season be so emotionally invested in, well, what was basically his second group stage game, where he still has very good chances to advance out from, despite going 0-2 initially. In the final series of the day, we saw Dark take on Cure, and in game number 1, Dark honestly just rolled Cure in a big way, superior everything, and made Cure look like someone with 1200 MMR less in a standard ladder game. Second time around, Cure was like, alright, we're not gonna macro this out, just gonna proxy Rex, but Dark with a pretty solid defense. Game ended up being a bit more even until the mid game, and Dark got back into his own, started baneling run buying, and absolutely blasted Cure once again. Dark looking so stupidly strong, especially against Terran, but just in general, mechanically, decision-making wise, he is a very, very scary player, and I'm looking forward to what he can show in the rest of this GSL season. That leaves us with the two Zergs on top in Group B. Dark with 2-0, Ragnarok with 2-0, but having dropped 2 maps, he is in that second position. Bunny with a 1-1 score and also winning 2 maps and losing 2 maps. Creator with a 1-4 map score in 4th place, tied with Cure, who also has a 1-4 map score. Moving on to the Nation Wars, where we saw lots of upset. USA knocking out Korea with a 4-0 score and thus qualifying for the offline finals. And of course, Team Peace taking out France in the Ace match, which is best watched with French commentary.
Qui venait de blinker, on arrive à bien encaisser une nouvelle fois du côté de chez Clément Desplanches qui s'en sort bien, qui a besoin quand même de toucher des beaux MP sur les arcs, mais qui va réussir. Du coup, les one tap, faut reculer, faut kiter un petit peu du côté de chez Clem, kiter un petit peu avec les marines, la population quand même de Clem qui s'effondre. C'est compliqué pour la France.
GG, la Russie qui s'impose ici, la team de la paix qui arrive à choper cet ace match. Et oui, ça fait mal, oui, c'est dur, mais ce qu'il l'a fait, il est allé le chercher.
That means that there should be a round of 4 with Poland, USA, Peace and China, but for the moment we're not quite sure what's going to happen with any potential disqualifications. Nation Wars perhaps was thinking of disqualifying both China and Peace because they couldn't play offline, but we're not entirely sure yet what the verdict is there, so we'll have to wait to see what the actual round of 4 bracket will be like. Moving over to the World Team League, which has always had 6 matches spread out over 3 days. Starting on day 1 with the number 1 versus the number 2, DPG versus Shopify Rebellion. And after the initial 2 best of 2s, it looked hopeless for Shopify with a 1-3 score, and the only best of 2 remaining being Cure versus Harstem. However, Harstem surprised friend and foe by beating the number 7 Illegal rated player with a solid 2-0 victory, allowing Beyond the ace, which Beyond managed to win against Hero in a rather one-sided affair after a fantastic early game, meaning a 4-3 victory for the Rebels. The second match of the day was the 5-1 sweep in favor of Kaisi Gaming versus Platinum Heroes, Time being the only player that dropped the map versus Acheron, meaning that the Platinum Heroes once again lost the clan war without gaining any points whatsoever. The second day brought us Alpha X versus Team Envy, and every best of 2 ended up being 1-1, which forced a rather unlikely ace between Astrea and Bunny, in which the American managed to win in an exciting game on 2K Atmospheres, giving Alpha X 2 points, while Team Envy were left behind with just a single one. For the 9th time in a row, Team SSLT did not win a clan war, as Team Liquid did not drop a map versus the Chinese team. This means that for now SSLT will be stuck on the last place, only having gotten a single point over 9 rounds. The final playday of the World Team League saw Guangdong Freaks go up against Team GGG, and as Keen upset Dream with a 2-0 victory, GGG's hopes of winning this match pretty much got shattered. Ratata and Seiyan both managed to take a map, but it wasn't enough to force an ace, and thus the Guangdong Freaks went home with 3 points. The final match of the 9th round was Team GP versus Storm Gaming, and despite Ryung's hot start with a 2-0 win over Gerald, the tables quickly turned as both Special and MaxPax managed to win their matches 2-0 over Prince and Chum respectively. The 3 points go to Storm Gaming, and that leaves us with the current ranking. Kaisi in first, followed by DPG, Shopify, Rebellion and Alpha X tied in second. We see a small gap in points where Storm, NV and Freaks are. And way below that with 10 points, Liquid are still dreaming of a playoff spot, but that will most likely only be a dream. Team GP, Good Game Gaming, Plat Heroes and SSLT are pretty much out of the running for a playoff spot, so the final 2 weeks will mainly be important for the top of the table to see who gets first, second and well, all the way down to 7th rank. Moving on to the ESL weeklies, where we saw Beyond's streak broken by a Hero. Hero managed to take out Beyond in the finals with a 3-2 score. Close games, but no cigar for the Korean Terran, who had to give away the ESL Open Korea trophy to Hero this time around. In Europe, we saw MaxPax and Clam duke it out in the finals, and just like in Korea, once again, the Protoss won, as MaxPax managed to secure another ESL Open Cup win in Europe, giving himself the 2nd win in a row. In America, Beyond got into his 2nd final, but just like in Korea, he wasn't strong enough for his Protoss opponent. This time it wasn't Hero, it wasn't Classic, no, it was the American Neep who won Cup 129, and a fantastic result for the American, who also won Open Cup 125 and seems to be back in top shape just in time for Dreamhack Valencia. This week's game of the week came out of the nation wars between Canada and India, a game between Demi and Maples, with a pretty standard low-gas double forge opener for the Protoss, but it quickly devolved into degeneracy. Massive run-bys by the Toss and Muta attacks by the Zerg, leaving both players in poor eco, eventually leading into a somewhat still low eco situation in the late game, which set us up for the finale of a lifetime, with 1 worker left for Protoss and 15 drones for the Zerg, and the final fight with a Lurker links around on top of Stalker, Immortal Zealot, giving Demi the win. Fantastic game, I'd recommend everyone to go watch it if you like entertaining StarCraft. This week we have the shortest clip of the week ever, but in these mere 6 seconds, you can feel a lifetime of pain out of Hero Marine, as he has an absolute MMR record of points lost.
I was so focused on doing my build. Oh my god.
122 MMR down the drain. I usually cry already if I lose 50, I throw my computer out of the window if it's 60, and I move to a different country when I lose 70 MMR. So I really admire Hero Marine's mental power to still queue up another ladder game after this. That is going to be it for me today and for StarCraft Day, but not before we answer the final question, and that is, what does the fox say? And I found a document stemming from 2013, which has multiple answers. And the first answer is ring ding ding, ding-a-ring-a-ding, ga-ring, ding-ding-ding, ding-a-ring-a-ding, ga-ring, ding-ding-ding, ding-a-ring-a-ding. But at another point in this very scientific document, it also says wa pa 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 pow, wa pa 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 pow, wa pa 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 pow, or hati 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 ho, hati 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 ho, hati 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 ho, joff choff choffo, choffo choff, choff choff choffo, choffo choff, joff choff choffo choff choff. But that's not all. We also have cha-cha, 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 cha, chow, cha-cha, 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 chow, cha-cha, 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 chow, or fraka kaka 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 cow, fraka kaka 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 cow, fraka kaka 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 cow, ahi ahi hahi, ahi ahi hahi, ahi ahi hahi, ahoo woo, wa wa way do, whoop wit bit doom way do, wa wa way do, bye Buddha boot doom bum, mama doom day do, abe bada boom boom bay do. So a couple of different answers, and it's on you guys to figure out which one is the correct one. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see all of you next time for a new episode of StarCraft Today. Bye bye.